Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Once again, welcome you all in the second lecture of our topic that is Casabianca. In previous lecture, we had elaborated two stanzas of the poem, and in today's lecture, we'll elaborate and explain some more stanzas. So, stanza number three of the poem Casabianca is: the flames rolled on, he would not go without his father's word. That father faint in death below, his voice no longer heard. In these lines, gentleman cadet's poetess tells that the flames rushed at the Casa Bianca, but he had resolved not to leave the place unless his father permitted him. So, gentlemen, in these stanzas, the poetess says that the fire was spreading. The flames of the fire were getting near to him, but he did not leave the place without his father's permission. His father was lying dead in the lower part of the ship, so his voice could not be heard. The father, the brave father of a brave son, Casabianca, was lying dead in the lower part of the ship. Therefore, he was unable to hear the voice of his son, Casabianca. Stanza number 4 is: he called aloud, say, Father, say, if yet my task is done. He knew not that the chieftain lay unconscious of his son. In these lines, in these wonderful and meaningful lines, the poetess of the poem, Felicia Dorothea Hemans, tells us that the boy called his father in a loud voice. The boy, the Casabianca, cried loudly to his father. He asked whether the duty assigned to him was completed or not. He was asking from his father that his duty was over or not. He did not know that the commander of the ship was unaware about the critical condition of his son. The boy was not unaware of the fact that his father was completely unconscious because he was dead, and the Casabianca was totally unaware about the unconsciousness of his father. He was not aware about the critical condition of his father who had died and who could not answer his son. His father was died. That's why he was unable to answer his brave son Casabianca. But the boy did not know about his father's condition. Casabianca was totally unaware of the fact, and he did not know that his father was dead. His father lost his life, and he was not in a position to answer his son. Stanza number 5 is: speak, father, once again he cried, if I may yet be gone. And but the booming shots replied, and fast the flames rolled on. In these meaningful and wonderful lines, the poetess Felicia Dorothea Hammonds says that the boy once again cried and asked his father if he could go. One more time, the boy was calling his father, and he was asking his father that if he could go. He was taking permission of his father that should he leave the place or not. The boy shouted again to his father if he may escape, but could not get a reply. He wanted to say more, but his voice was drowned in the midst of heavy noise of guns, and the flames rushed on very fast. Gentlemen, he did not receive the answer of his father. He was calling his father. As I told you, his father lost his life, and Casabianca did not know that his father is no more. So that is why his father could not answer him. But the reply which Casabianca got, the reply of the firing of the shoots, and the flame advanced rapidly towards him. So that is why the flames were approaching him, but he could not move without the permission of his father, because he was very brave boy and obedient boy. That is why he did not leave the place without the permission of his father. Stanza number 6 is, upon his brow he felt their breath, and in his waving hair, and looked from that lone post of death in still yet brave despair. In these lines, the poetess says that the flames reached at the boy, the burning flames, the horrible flames reached at the boy. He felt their heat on his forehead and in waving hair. He was feeling their heat on his forehead and in his waving hair. Though he knew that his death was near, although he knew, he was aware of the fact that his death was near, but despite he stood quiet and calm. He looked from the place of death where he was alone. No one was there. Only Casabianca was standing there with bold heart, though he was disappointed. Although he was disappointed, now boy was extremely brave and gallant, but he was also disappointed because he was a boy of tender age. That's why he also got confused. But despite he did not leave the place and he was standing there. Stanza number 7 is, and shouted, but once more aloud, my father, must I stay? While o'er him fast through shell and shroud, the wreathing fires made way. In these lines, the poetess says that once more he called aloud to his father. One time more he called his father, and he cried out in a loud voice. He was calling his father in a loud voice. He wanted to know if it was necessary for him to stay there. He wanted to take information from his father that was it necessary for him to leave there. The flames passed over him fast through the cells and the ropes, and he felt danger of burning. The flames which were approaching there, the flames passed over him. The flames passed over him fast through the cells and ropes which tied them. The fire and flames were approaching him, and he felt danger of burning. So he was feeling the danger of burning, but despite he did not move from there and he did not run away. Stanza number 8 is, they wrapped the ship in splendor wild. They wrapped the ship in splendor while they caught the flag on high and streamed above the gallant child like banners in the sky. In these lines, the poetess says that the flames surrounded the ship and covered it on all sides. The flames enveloped the ship in a wild brightness, and the ship's flag caught fire. The flames also reached the flag, the pennon flag, which was hoisting there on the uppermost part of the ship, which was flying very high. The flames also surrounded the brave boy like the flakes shadow in the sky. The brave boy Casabianca, who was standing there, the flames also surrounded him like the flakes shadow in the sky. Stanza number 8 is there came a burst of thunder sound. The boy, oh, where was he? Ask of the winds that far around with fragments strewed the sea. In these lines, the poetess says that suddenly a loud noise was heard. There was no one could imagine that where the body of brave boy was. Suddenly, what happened? There was a loud noise of was heard, and there was no one who could imagine that where the boy was, where the brave boy Casabianca was. Only the winds which could say were blowing around the boy that where was he. Only the winds which were blowing there, so they only can tell that where the boy was. So, gentlemen, the boy lost his life in the flames because the entire ship caught fire. That's why the boy could not save himself. Stanza number 10 is with mast and helm and pennon fair, that well had borne their part, but the noblest thing which perished there was that young faithful heart. In these lines, the poetess says that this noblest soul, the noblest, the greatest soul of the brave boy Casabianca that perished with mast and helm and beautiful flags that had all played their part was the young and dutiful boy who led his life in the obedience of his father and the performance of his duty. Each and everything of the ship played extremely wonderful role, but the greatest and the noblest role was performed by the young boy, the obedient boy, disciplined boy, the disciplined soul, the obedient boy Casabianca who lost his life. So each and everything of the ship played their tremendous role, but the role which was performed by the Casabianca was extremely important role than the role played by the other things. So, gentlemen, that is all about the stanzas of Casabianca. Hope you people will completely understand about the stanzas of the poem. And in next lecture, we'll talk something about the next topic, which is there's a good time coming, in which you people will get the lesson of optimism, lesson of hope. Thank you so much.